Our project today is this 1975 Hahn LTD 500 with a 7 horsepower non-electric start engine. The problem began when the recoil starter failed. Here's the Briggs Stratton 7 horsepower non-electric start engine. Take a look at our pull cord. This fine thing right here, I went to pull it out the other day. The engine started, but as you can see, it did not recoil back in the engine. So we've got some trouble here, and we're going to today take a look at it and see if we can get it fixed. Hopefully we won't have to purchase any parts. Our first order of business here is to remove the fuel line from the carburetor. We then need to remove the air filter so we can access all the bolts to remove the engine cover. Now we're going to use a 7/16 to remove the engine cover and take a look at our recoil mechanism. Now there's also these bolts here, and there's one on the other side. There should be two on the other side here, but it's missing, and I'm not sure where it went. Now we're going to remove the cover. As you can see on this model, the gas tank comes with it. After a quick test, we can see that a lot of the problem lies right here in this unit itself. The recoil doesn't work very well at all. So what we need to do is remove the recoil from the shroud and take a look at what we got. It's pretty simple to remove. Just a few bolts. We're going to use a nut driver to remove these small little hold downs to remove the starting mechanism. Now it's interesting, a lot of the newer ones don't use any kind of fancy mechanism like this to hold these down. They actually use little bendable tabs, which are not nearly as good as these little devices here, which allow for much easier use. But of course, like they always say, they don't build them like they used to. Upon inspection, looking inside, it's difficult to see from this angle, but the spring appears to be intact and unbent. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of lubricating oil, maybe some white lithium grease on this, and take a look to see what happens. After an application of white lithium grease, we'll reinstall the little hold down tabs and take a look at our results. I have a feeling our results are going to be positive. After an application of white lithium grease, mechanism appears to be operating properly. Now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the recoil starting mechanism back onto the engine cover. Initially, the clutch looks to be pretty good. It does spin freely and lock in the opposite direction. However, when this thing was running, periodically this thing would make some noise. And we do have a new one, well, new used one, and we are going to replace it to try to eliminate that noise. So what we'll use is this punch and a ball peen hammer to knock this loose. They actually have a special tool for this job, but I left it at work, and the punch and hammer work just fine. Okay, pretty simple. Here is our new used clutch, and we get it on there as best we can. Now, of course, it's time to use the same hammer and punch to tighten it up. Alright, it appears to be on there just fine. Now it's time to replace the screen. This is here to keep dirt, debris, your fingers, all that stuff from entering the flywheel area. Make sure that all of the bolts are snugged properly. You'll notice that the carburetor has grease and other funk all over it, so we'll give it a quick shot of carb cleaner here. It works fine, it just has gunk all over it, and that's never good. Step is to actually go ahead and replace our cover, and we will even put in a new bolt to replace the one that was missing earlier. Yeah. The cover is back on, and let's go ahead and hook up our fuel line back to the carburetor. Now we'll go ahead and put the air filter back on. Make sure that the air filter is reinstalled and that the screws are tightened down properly. I had gone ahead and cleaned the air filter of any debris since I had it out. Alright, it looks like we're ready to give her a shot.